Beard. Oh, that's right. You have a beard now.
I'm a beard guy. I'm a beard guy.
What do you? Well, let me ask you this: are you coloring it?
Yeah, I color my beard, Mark. I'm a 40-year-old man who colors his beard. You think I'm not pathetic?
Okay.
Do you think I would dye? I have gray here. So let me leave the gray, but let me color my beard. You think I'm one of those homosexual people? I'm a heterosexual man. So if you say homosexual, you're allowed to say homosexual. You just can't say gay. You can't say things are gay, but you could say that activity is very homosexual. I'm a very heterosexual man. Hey, what's his name? Noodles? Which is a very emasculating name for a male dog. Can I be honest?
Sure?
Noodles.
Hold on. It's Noodle.
All right, he named
and
his
that
dog
was the
Noodle.
Name that was given by the adoption center.
And this says a lot about who you are as a person, because if I adopt a dog and they go, this is the name, I go, no, you don't tell me what the name is.
Okay.
It's my dog.
Okay.
And I'm going to change the name because it's a puppy.
Sure.
Right? And look, he doesn't even know how to get out of this situation. He's going to knock down the camera. No. This is why I've been reminded that maybe I don't want to get married and have kids, because the last 2 weeks I was with married people and their kids, and they get frustrated and overwhelmed, and they're just sitting there like, and they're like, and then they look at me and go, never give up your freedom, Mike. Never give up your freedom. And I go, you goddamn right. You goddamn right.
So what would you have named him?
Something like legendary. You know
legendary,
what I mean?
Like what?
Because he doesn't. First of all, it's like a husky mix, right?
It's just a husky,
and he's got like a lazy eye.
He has a brown eye and a blue eye.
It's a lazy eye. It's a little lazy eye. He's got a lazy eye, and he's a husky, pure husky. Sit down, Noodle. There you go. Do your little twirls. Dogs do twirls. Sit down.
He's so confused.
Guys, sit down. Up here. Go sit down. You're like my old dog, Wade. Just you're alive. Up there. Go. Here's the thing. Noodle, I'm sorry that your name is Noodle.
I'm waiting for you to come up with a better name. What's a legendary dog name?
Rufus. I would have liked Rufus.
Rufus is not a dog name.
Rufus is cooler. Or I would have
you'd be the kind of person that would name your dog Beethoven.
No.
But then mispronounce it like Beethoven.
Oh God, what do we have? An open mic, dude? Thanks, open mic comic.
Wait, let's go back to this beard.
All right, hold on. We'll go back to the beard, but yes. All right, go back to the beard.
So I want people to comment in here if they think it's colored, because here's the thing. You have no red hair from the sideburns up.
And watch how I'm about to make him feel like shit in 3, 2, 1. So the red comes from my mom, and that's why I grow out the beard now, because it's a reminder of her every day. I go, oh, mom's still in my life because she comes out in my beard.
Oh, look how bad I feel.
That's because you're dead inside, and that's why you're a horrible father to a dog named Noodle. And that's why you shouldn't be a father, and that's why your wife doesn't want to have kids with you, and that's why you wear condoms with your wife, because she is sleeping with other men. So how about that? Noodle.
Oh no.
He doesn't look like it. He looks like a yeah.
You know what the funniest part
Gladiator.
About this? No.
Noodle's cute.
You know who loves the name Noodle? All women.
Because women are stupid. So that's why. They're like, oh, Noodle. Because they get confused by Noodle.
We walk down the street and he has to encounter everybody.
Yeah.
He loves everybody, wants to get pet by everybody.
Maybe you don't know this about dogs. That's a dog. That's
sure.
Yeah.
He'll run into like a pack of women outside of what's the club over there? The Addition, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone has to paint.
Paint.
Pet him.
Yeah, they have to paint.
And then they go, what's his name?
Yep.
Noodle. Oh.
Yeah. You know why? Think about how stupid that is. Think about that. You're talking to another human adult that's graduated high school at least. And you're like, yeah, his name is Noodle. And they go, oh!
What was I going to name him? Ralph?
No, like he is a guy.
Kevin?
I don't know. Kevin's not bad, but I mean, like, I would go with like
Husky Steve.
Thumper.
Monty.
Tommy. Todd. Todd. Look at him. He likes Todd. He just seems like he's kind of like I don't know, maybe like a Ray after Ray Lewis, because he's like a middle linebacker. Ray. Hey, Ray.
No, if anything, because of this brown eye, and it looks like that's an eye patch, he looks like a Bond villain sometimes.
Okay. So not There's no
Noodle?
noodles.
Yeah, but how many dogs have you met named Noodle?
My name is Bond, James Bond, and I am Noodle, and I'm here to kill you.
Noodle and here to sniff butts.
So, anyways, the beard is no, I don't dye the beard because if I was gonna dye it, why don't I do black? That would be cooler.
Not at all.
Also, like, who would do auburn? That's like a specific color.
Yeah, because you're trying to make it look more natural.
No, I wish it was gray. I want a gray beard. And I don't
Join
think
the
I'll ever
club.
get it. But I think that, I think people are like, who is that guy now? I'm a little bit more mysterious now that I have a beard. People are
I'll
like,
give you that.
does he
I
chop
think
wood?
No, I don't. I would never mistake you for chopping wood or looking
know
any
how to-
kind of outdoorsman with
I
this
could
beard.
chop wood, though. I could probably chop wood. I've never actually really participated in chopping wood, but I would think that out of you and me,
I would beat you 10 times out of 10.
how do you beat someone in chopping wood?
It's
whoever
a
stops
race.
chopping. Oh, like one of those things?
Yeah,
Do you think
there's
you-
literal competitions for this.
Do you think you bench more than me?
Absolutely.
You're
There's not a single damn thing
You're
in the sports world that you can beat
well,
me
that's
at.
not true. Bowling,
Nope.
tennis,
Nope.
fast foot racing.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm faster than everyone.
Absolutely not.
Fast foot racing. Football and basketball 100% would be.
I'll give you.
Football, basketball.
Hold on.
Football, basketball, and soccer. I'm winning, and baseball because I play baseball.
No. I will give you basketball unequivocally.
Okay, and football too. Like
No.
I'm a better quarterback than you, 100%, and a better wide receiver. I can run better routes than you.
Professional dodgeball player. You think I don't have the arm?
Yeah, so you're talking about pitching. I know that I'm a better hitter than you. I beat you in home run derby. If we went to the batting cages, I'm beating you in home run derby. Played baseball for 16 years.
You were the manager
Of what?
the baseball team.
It doesn't matter.
They
I
gave you
also
a
played
ceremonial jersey because they felt bad for you.
No, because they know how passionate I was. Because I didn't have the
You're
grades
the
to play
only
for the
kid
team.
that had the helmet had both ears covered.
No, I have photos. I'll pull up a photo. My ears were not covered. God damn it.
Oh no, it looks like
All right.
something you did.
Let's get into it. Okay. We got a lot of things. People got mad about some clips from last episode. I do have but since we're on this subject,
Sure.
I've always had such a great imagination.
Okay.
What do you think about that sentence already? I've always had such a great imagination. When I was younger, I used to play, like, I was okay being by myself.
Yeah,
I could
we actually went through this in very, very, very early episodes.
I think we did.
We
About
both
imaginary baseball.
had
So I play imaginary cars, and I used to have like a car for my son, daughter,
Yeah.
wife, and I had 3 cars. And then we had the mansion on the hill, and then we would go drive through the intersections. And then
Yes.
sometimes there's car accidents. And
only
I played-
laughing because I did roughly the same.
So
Sure.
we're both a little on the spectrum of creativity.
Sure. Yeah.
You gotta
I'll
be
give it
careful
that.
what you
Yeah.
say now because
Creative spectrum.
because people get offended because they're not heterosexual. If you know what I'm saying.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. So I play that, and then I play imaginary baseball and football. It was my favorite, and I would write down all the stats. I think I've told you this before.
You took that a little further than I did, but yes.
Yes. So I'd be like, oh, I would like, and even in that world, I had a family.
Wait, did you do the whole like, oh, it was a 2-3-1 double play?
No, I was more like I would just swing the bat in the living room, and then like for my at bats, and I'd go through the season. I'm like, oh, this year he's at 28 home runs already. This is the most in 3 months, like stuff like that. But the thing is, I played this. This is what's very weird that I thought about the other day. I'd play imaginary to where I got to an age where I knew it was inappropriate for me to be playing imaginary sports in my house, that I was secretly doing it, and that if I heard my mom or dad coming home, I would stop and hide it. Because I knew that if they caught me playing imaginary at 13, 14, it would maybe cause some sort of concern of like, why is he still playing? It's a little immature for a 13, 14-year-old to playing imaginary baseball in a living room of a house when you should be going through puberty. And I was just like, no, I'm still imaginary baseball, professional baseball player. And I'm starting to realize it's never going to happen. So I'm holding on to this imaginary world.
Well, you went pro in your imagination. That's all that matters.
Oh, I was a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
I was a Hall of Famer.
First
So-
ballot? Or did you have to like work the writers?
No, I mean, sometimes I would create like obstacles that I had to overcome for
So
sure.
wait,
Like there was
remind me, you had siblings, right?
I had a sister, but by the time
So she wouldn't play catch with you.
no, but by the time
And we
I
know
was-
your dad wouldn't play
yeah,
catch
are you
with
gonna
you.
keep interrupting me?
Yeah.
By the time she was 14, she's off. She's going to college by the time I get to high school. But I'm saying like I obstacles I had to overcome. Like I would have bad seasons. I would give myself bad seasons, like where I was having like, oh, he's having a slump year. Like, is he going to be able to overcome this? Is he going to continue to be great, or was that just a part of his imaginary life where he was good and then he fell off? And then I think at one point I gave myself like I was an alcoholic or something, so I definitely got divorced.
So, did you not know that there was like a manager version of like MLB baseball where you could do all this, where you could manage a team? Or do you think you secretly, it wasn't about being the player, you wanted to be a pundit like on an ESPN to like live out these storylines?
I just wanted to be great at something. I've always wanted to be great at something.
Well, let me ask you, Mike, what are you great at
now?
Yes. What are you like? I'm not average. I am unequivocally great at
dating.
Wait, so what does it take to be great at dating but be single at 40?
Doing it a lot, and that's why you are single, because you're so great at it that you're like, why would I stop dating?
Would you say that you're a first ballot Hall of Fame dater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've put up Hall of Fame numbers. Like I'm like, yeah, I've put up Hall of Fame numbers. But I will say that, going back to that, I think it's funny to psychologically know that you're at an age where it's very inappropriate to be playing imaginary.
Fair.
And then be like conscious about, I cannot get caught playing, which is sad. That's sad.
I would put mine around like that 7th, 8th grade when it was
stopped?
Like, yeah.
Where you felt guilty playing imaginary.
Yeah, you were like, okay.
So that's the thing. For any of, let's make this, when we put this on YouTube, let's make this for all ages. Guys, don't feel guilty about playing imaginary. Be yourself. You should be able to play imaginary into your 40s.
Well, let me ask you this. There was like, are there any hobbies that you had when you were young that you picked back up now that you're like, oh, I don't care if people know?
Masturbating?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, no, no, not
like would you go out to the field? Let's say you go out to like whatever park you're near. Would you go throw the ball to yourself?
No, I would do, like, if I was at a basketball court by myself.
Yeah,
I would do some imaginary basketball, like
some step backs,
2, 1, and then do like a fake, like yeah, he did it. Game 7 of the NBA Finals. But I don't know who I would be anymore, because I can't imagine me doing it, because now I'm too old to be in that situation. So now I'm like for instance, here, watch this. This is kind of crazy. So now I play video games still. So now when I play video games and I create a player, because I know I can't create me because that's not realistic and I want it to be a little bit, I create my nephews. I create my nephews. So I'll create like...
Wait, you don't create you?
No, I create like Tyler or Brady. Those are my nephews.
But you don't create you.
No,
So you're just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't even make an imaginary player of myself.
Because I
have to do them.
Because there wouldn't be a Michael Lenoci in the league because I'm 40. So it's not realistic in my brain. So I can't wrap my head around that. So I make it my nephews and I play as them and go, they become like, because they're young and there is a world where maybe it's happening.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have you ever benched them or traded them?
I would never bench them or trade them. No way. Okay. But you control them. So it's like, I'm not controlling the team.
But like, have you ever had like a terrible Thanksgiving and you're like, I will trade you if you're not careful?
I could tell them that.
Yeah.
I mean, you
like,
know,
wait, do they know that you've made their play?
I mean, they're gonna. I mean, this is obviously this is gonna
again,
this is
it's
gonna
a full circle. Like, you're embarrassed for them to find out.
It's gonna become a clip, and then it's gonna be seen by the family. If it's funny, I don't know. I mean, we'll see if we can make it a clip. But yes, I create my creative play. The players I create in video games now are my nephews and not me, because that's the only way it's realistic. And I play video games to fill the void of realistic things that haven't happened the way I want it to happen. So they happen that way. So that's why I play Madden, because the Dolphins lose. I go, no, they didn't lose. They won. So that's why I do that. But anyways, that was, that was something we had to get. But here, let's get back into the dating world, because that seems to be a hot topic for people on this podcast. Like, people got really upset about the whole, how dating is harder now because there's more options, and people were really upset about that, which is, they're upset because they're not happy in their own lives. You know, I mean, that's probably what it is, because it is true. And I think the most valid point was, in a way that is really progressive and smart, is the number one reason I in that last episode I said it was dating apps, right? Is why dating is harder now, because people have more options. But really the number one reason people have more options is because women, we live in a world where we're way more progressive, and women don't have to depend on men. So they're more successful, they're more educated, they have more jobs, they have better jobs, they make more money. So they don't have to rely on men. In the 60s, a woman had to maybe not settle. I shouldn't use that word because that triggers a lot of the females out there. And so it happens. So you have to understand that it's that women don't have to settle because they needed men in the 60s they had to cook for them and they needed a place to live. Now women are like, yo, I'm making fucking $500,000 a year. Guess what I don't need? A guy. I'm just going to date all the guys until I find the one that's perfect for me. And it's hard because what is perfect for a woman? She gets to be picky. So really it's on the women. It's not the men. And women are going home and going to the app and going, what else is better? So it's on you, ladies.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Right? It's a pretty logical.
Solid premise.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I threw in a little joke in there that might not make the cut, but it's for the podcast listeners. By the way, a lot of nice comments. People like, I miss Mark's voice and I miss your face.
Well,
my face.
Your face,
yeah, because you're not
obviously.
in it.
Yeah,
If they saw your face, they wouldn't miss it. But
fair.
they like your voice. They do like your voice. So there was a couple of people like, thanks for doing the podcast again. We took breaks. The coffee's kicking in and I'm going fast.
The coffee is kicking in.
The coffee is kicking in.
Absolutely.
So that feels good. But anyways.
Thank you for the coffee.
This one is going to be.
It more than makes up for you canceling.
I canceled yesterday, guys.
Yeah.
I kind of warned him that I was going to cancel though. I did say, hey, in the morning I go, I think that we should do another day because I think this day is not going to work out for me. And then we went back and forth and I go, I'll try to make it work. I said, I'll try to make it work.
Yeah.
And then when it got an hour before, I go,
no, when it got 20 minutes before.
Yeah, 20 minutes before.
20 minutes before. You were like, hey.
Yeah. And listen, as a human
and
being,
I'd already set up.
Oh, he moved the camera over.
Well, no, I had set up and I had run to take the dog
on.
out so that everything would be okay. And, just,
but you had other
I've got other clients. So then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're talking about moving here. I got other things. So,
Yeah.
Listen, it's just kind of, it's a courtesy.
Yeah, of course. And I admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong and I made a mistake and I tried to make up for it. And I said that we would discuss it on the podcast. And this is growth as a human because I'm willing to understand that I'm at fault and I am an asshole and I messed up big time.
I'll give you that. I will give you that.
Does that make you feel better?
You owned up to it. I'll give
does
you
that make you feel better?
Yes, it does.
Makes you feel better about the situation? See,
good.
so what is it really for? Is there really a reason or a world where we really need to apologize? Because really you're just filling the void of the other person who's angry at you. Are they still going to be angry at you? Of course they are. Apologies don't ever fix anything. Do they ever fix anything? They're always going to still be angry. It's just an ego of a power
But I feel
trip.
like it also takes the edge off. Does it fix it?
Talk about edge when women give you the edging thing, huh? Sorry. Sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Young. What?
That one went over me.
Yeah, it was my ex-wife's parents.
Ah.
Sometimes they still watch. So here's
they're
this.
like, oh, what could have been.
Here's a controversial topic. Okay. 40th birthday was in Key West, right?
Saw photos, fantastic.
Yeah, I had fun. So you saw photos.
Yeah.
Okay, this is how stupid.
Wait,
people
are
on
those
the internet-
friends your age?
Yeah. Except my sister and the other couple, they're like 43.
Hollywood does everybody good, man.
What?
Like when I go back, everybody looks 20 years older than me.
All my friends look good though for their age for the most part.
You look better than the friends.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, some of them are a little bit older, but yeah, all for the most part, except
They all look like they've got kids.
every single one of them, but like 3 of them
They got aged.
have kids. Here's the thing. What's funny about the pictures, like obviously I posted, this is how stupid the internet is. I posted the picture of me kissing the like 75-year-old.
Oh, that's right.
Right? It's clearly a joke.
Yes,
Everybody with a normal IQ would be like, "Oh, that's a joke. Here's the picture right here." Clearly a joke, okay? Clearly a joke. The amount of people that DM'd me and went, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And I was like, what do you mean? What am I doing? They're like, for real? That's like, hey, if this was something I was into, I wouldn't be publicly showing it. It would be behind the scenes. Like, obviously it's a joke. I couldn't understand. What are you doing?
I'm looking at the post.
Oh, got you. Well,
Yeah,
sometimes when I'm talking about it and you're looking down at it, like you disconnected me from the bit.
Oh, you're fine. You're supposed to be a professional.
Did you like it? But it's clearly a joke. And
Yes.
my buddies in the background. I even someone was like, why did you do that? I go, what do you mean? Why did I do that? They're like, I just don't understand. Like, it's just like, that's what you're into. I go, what do you mean? What do you mean that's what I'm into? I go, we're hanging out with these funny old ladies, and I go, can I kiss you and get a picture? And they're like, yeah, why not? Hey, friends, take your cameras out. And I give her a good kiss.
It was a hilarious one.
And so if you think that that's real, you're stupid, right? Can we all agree? If you don't even understand,
even without context,
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's a funny moment.
Yes.
That's like a bachelor party moment, but it's PG enough.
PG
where
enough.
you're like, oh, we could post that, and it's like, oh, how hard did this 40th birthday go? That hard.
Thank you. You're following a comedian. So that is content that is hilarious. That's a funny moment in a movie. That would be an old school moment.
Now,
right?
if you were to make this a regular thing,
then that's
like
weird.
every city that you go to, you
It's
pick
still a
some
bit. It's
old
still a
lady
bit.
out of the crowd and kiss her for the gram. Hilarious.
But also still a bit.
Yes.
It's never, the only way it's real is if I didn't post it. Then it's real. If I didn't post that picture, then it's for my satisfaction, which is real. What's funny is I did it again that night with a young girl. She was probably like 26, but I can't show you the picture. Big girl. Knew enough to be like, we can't post this because then it's like you're making fun.
Yes. So you're not making fun of the old woman.
No, she was fun. She was all about it.
Yeah.
But this other girl, she was all about it too. But it's almost like,
but without context, you would have gotten roasted.
Oh, I mean, it would have been bad because it seems like it would have been like a little, like
you would be using her.
I can't show. It's not in the camera, right?
Oh no, it's fine. It's not in the camera.
I mean, how about for the people who are such loyal fans? Can't post that because it seems like we're like shaming. But
yes.
The sweetest part about that part was she, like afterwards, like we were all like, oh, we feel bad because like she saw us taking pictures and stuff. But like her friends like enjoyed it, and she came up to me like 20 minutes later. She goes, "Can I have another kiss?" And I go, "Yeah." I mean, I had to.
How funny would it have been if you said like, "Nah, we already got the photo for the scavenger hunt."
I knew I couldn't. So I grabbed her and I passionately kissed her. Like I grabbed both of my hands and I just made out with her. Like gave her the best kiss of her life. Like passionately.
I mean, that's an assumption, but sure, okay.
No, bro, it was.
Oh, that's right.
And
sorry.
then what was
Hall of Fame dater.
Yeah, and what was funny is they were like lingering around at different bars after that, and I was like, "This is too much now." Like almost
she started following
she thought
you?
she was gonna close on this.
Wait, do you think she's gonna follow
she came
the
to the strip
pod?
club? She was at the strip club, and like we're hanging out at the strip club. I was like, I gotta get out of here, bro. This is too much. Now, like she's sitting across from us at the strip club.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is for my nephews. We went to a strip club with your mom, and she had a great time. People are getting quiet. My sister was motorboating strippers, dude. Dollars flying everywhere. Motorboating strippers. She was having a blast.
Did your brother-in-law go with?
Yeah, she took she took my brother-in-law and goes, "Let's go get a lap dance." And took him to the back of the room, and the lady was just having a lap dance while he was next to her, and he was just like, she was getting wild, having a blast.
Love it. Where in Florida?
This is Key West. It's just
fun. Okay.
Yeah, the strip clubs are so like
it's not somewhere terrible like I went, which
they're
was
right
like
next
Cocoa
to the bars.
Beach.
You could walk in the strip outlet and come back out and go to and there's a live band. It's just like it's such trash and it's wild. So it was like hilarious. But
it looked like a fun trip.
The kissing, yeah.
And the best part is like you don't put the kissing photo up front, and it's not the last thing. It's literally you swipe through and it's like third or fourth, and you're like, oh, hilarious.
Oh,
swipe, and that's all you need to say on it.
All right. Well, the thing about that is, I'm 5 days sober now. Why?
That'll last.
It will last for like 3 months.
Okay.
I want to go until football season.
Your
Kickoff weekend.
It's like 8 weeks.
It's September 5th. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to 8 weeks.
All right. So I'm going to go 8 weeks.
Okay.
But I've never even gone, I mean, even smoking pot. Like, I don't think I've ever gone sober for like weeks.
Are you doing this for like an edge thing?
No, just to like kind of
You've been
cleanse
watching
my body.
too much Gary V videos?
No, I've done a lot of drugs over the last couple months.
Okay.
And it's been out of control.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, let's like get it under control and make sure I have control. And I do. I know I do. But I need to like be like, see, I have control. Now can I continue to have fun? Life.
Okay.
I have full control of what I'm
And
doing.
you're just trying to prove this to yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also I want to see if it makes
Or did something happen on this trip?
Nothing
where they
happened.
were like, hey man,
I had sex
they
with a
sat
guy.
you down.
I had sex with 3 guys at once. No, I want to no.
Nice. Well,
we
you
did
only got
with,
like 2 holes you could
with
use.
one of my buddies we did have a sit down with, but I just want to see if life gets better. I'm curious. I want to like be like, oh, I've noticed things are working better. I just want to see.
Why not just go all the way and give up sex too until the Dolphins start?
Yeah, I should try that.
Like no, like who is it? We had a guest on at some point. It was one of your friends, early like Village Idiots, and they were like, no masturbation, no sex, like don't spill your seed.
Oh, that was JT Parr.
That was. And go for the whole time, and then you'll move mountains, man. You'll take over the world.
Okay,
Dude,
I'm gonna try. How about
8
this?
weeks.
I want to try to go. How about this? I can't. Yeah. How about this? How about I try to exclusively date?
Oh no,
Just like not multiple women.
no. Full on
No.
celibate, drug free, alcohol free.
No, I can
You can't do it.
I could do alcohol and drug
I
free.
think you're talking about being able to challenge yourself. Why not really challenge yourself?
I don't think I could do that. I think that's a real problem.
You think at 40 you can't be like, I think I could put the brakes on everything and really show myself something?
Nope.
Okay.
I think it's very hard for me.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm like, if I'm sitting alone, I'll get bored and I'm like, oh, I want some companionship. It's not even about the sex. I just want some companionship.
Yeah, is that what you're telling yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to try to not have sex for 8 weeks?
Yeah.
So just full on only masturbating?
Let's see how far you could go. Watch you get like a real agent, a manager, a pilot.
If someone said that all that would happen, I would do it.
Give it a shot. What's stopping you from really like, if you're focused on anything but,
you know, the clip last week where I was like talking about like dating, it's fun like to be single. People are like, you have a problem. You have a problem. So many people are like, it's you. You have one person's like, you have a dopamine addiction. I was like, that sounds like a fun addiction.
I mean, I do too. Shit.
Everybody has a dopamine. Like,
yeah.
You mean the people who climb rocks without any
harnesses and equipment?
So they have a dopamine addiction. Like, what is a dopamine addiction bad? You mean you chase entertainment and fun?
Oh no, the human body is wired for it.
I didn't understand a dopamine addiction.
So that's what I'm saying. I'll tell you what.
I'll
tell you what.
I can't even go 3 days without having sex.
I will do this with you.
Bro, you have a wife and you're gay. Like, come on.
I'll see. Wait. Should this be like the Seinfeld episode? Who could go the longest?
But you can't do that because you could get divorced if you do that. Your wife could be like, if you don't have sex with me, I'm leaving you. Not to mention, you guys wear condoms when you have sex. Weird. So weird. And the fact that so many people disagreed with me is ludicrous. Like, that just shows how many dorks there are in this world. Like, oh, the pull-up method is how I had my twins. No, bro, you're not pulling out. You're being stupid because there's no risk because it's your wife. Be single and do the pull-up method. You'll get really good at the pull-up method. You know what I mean? All these people are like, oh, I tried the pull-up method and that's how I had my kids. Yeah, because you're doing the pull-up method with your wife. There's no consequences if you get her pregnant. Do it with a
the
random.
consequences is 18 years of bullshit.
Yeah, but at least it's with the person you love. Try fucking doing the pull-out method with a stripper from Atlanta. You'll get real good at it. Not that I've ever done that, but I feel like that's the ratchiest form of a woman is a stripper from Atlanta.
You're gonna.
Well, we're not gonna clip this.
That'll
one.
be clipped.
But right, an Atlanta stripper is the ratchiest form of a female.
Okay.
You could get offended. If that went viral and I got offended, how many would I just have strippers attacking me? I'll bet you all the women
You just walked the dog.
all the women who got mad on those last clips would probably agree with me on that one. That's how two-sided, double-edged sword kind of person they are. If that makes sense, it doesn't matter. So anyways, I met a woman. She goes on trips and she cheats on her husband. And I was like, does your husband cheat on you? And she goes, oh no, there's no way. I was like, are you sure? And she's like, no, there's no way. And she was explaining that, but we got into the details. I was very interested in learning about her. I was like, I wanted to know why she cheated, what her morals were.
She used the apps or just meet people at bars?
No. There's nothing is untrackable. This is only when she goes on
old
girls
school
trips.
cheating.
Only on girls trips.
Gotcha.
So I'm getting it. But basically the premise of this thing is I learned that is where is it? It's right here. Like just all right, right here. Ready? Just because somebody is having an affair, hold on. Just because someone's having an affair does not mean they are a bad person. So that, and just so we have a clean slate of it, that's going to be the first line. This video is going viral.
So,
well, because that is going to anger people. But let me get it clean one more time. Just because somebody is having an affair does not mean they are a bad person. And I will explain myself. Ready?
Qualify that.
Qualify that. Okay. So when we were talking, I was like, explain to me what's going. First of all, let's let go of everybody's. You got to understand, we live in a world where we were raised in a society where they said these are the social norms, and our social norms have been brought to us in our society based off of religion values. That's really why. That's how America and other countries were kind of brought upon, right? A lot of our social norms are influenced through Christianity, maybe a little bit of Judaism or whatever, or I don't, what?
Judaism,
Muslim, whatever. Morals are based off of religion, right? So these social norms are to say, if you don't follow these norms, you're a bad person. That's kind of an old school, ridiculous way of thinking. If you don't do what we say, you're a bad person. And it's not only with, marriage, it's with anything. If you take this without paying for it, if somebody steals something, Mark, are they a bad person?
Well, judged by the
social norms,
yes.
But that's ridiculous. We've all in this room have stole something before, right?
Yeah.
So we're not a bad person. All right, how about this? If you do drugs, are you a bad person?
No.
Okay, so if you hurt someone's feelings or physically hurt someone, we've all physically probably hurt someone too. In this room, we've all physically hurt someone or emotionally hurt someone on purpose. Are we a bad person? No. So if somebody cheats, though, there's no way getting out of being a bad person. So why is that different? Why is that different from any other thing?
Well, the difference is, like, even though it's based on religion, is you as a person who is getting married, you have promised to that other person,
yes,
to be loyal,
sure,
and to be faithful, and to
of
be
course.
Monogamous.
Of
so
course.
you are backing out of that promise.
But
Religion aside.
Well, but you do that.
That is your word.
But that is your word.
That is your word.
That is with friendship. That is with laws. In America, you will not steal. You will not do drugs. Like, those are the same social norms of, like, you are agreeing not to do that because it's illegal. And if you do, it doesn't mean you're a bad person if you act on it, right? Right? I'm just saying. So I broke it down with her. I was like, she's like, so I go, what is it exactly? And then she was like, well, I am a sex addict. She said that. So one thing is she's identifying that she's a sex addict, right? So I'm not saying it excuses what she does, but she understands she has a problem What? Why are you frowning your face to that?
I'm just laughing at that.
Him?
Yeah.
Your dog?
Yeah.
We're sitting here talking about some heavy stuff. And
Yeah.
you're laughing
And
with
I'm
your
waiting
dog.
for you to get to your point.
I'm trying to validate the point of, I don't think that she's necessarily a bad person. I think she's got some issues, obviously. And then she goes, I go, well, this has to come down to communication with your husband. You're not getting something in the bedroom. She goes, yeah, definitely. Like one time she said that I never really enjoyed his kissing.
Hilarious that she'd rather cheat than fix the kissing. Like, oh my God, I couldn't just be like, no, like this, like a little more closed, a little more open, a little more left, a little more right. Because, it would be so awkward. But let me take this hog.
But she was telling me
from someone else.
She was telling me she would get things from other men that she really enjoyed that her husband couldn't do. And she would go back to her husband and over time tell him to do that to her. And in my eyes, I was like, if I was married and I've been married for 10, 12 years, and all of a sudden a month later, my wife comes back, she says, I want you to start doing this. I'd be like, where the hell did you get that idea from?
Who have you been fucking?
Get that idea from? You've never done that. And all of a sudden you want me to grab you like this?
And the best part is they'll be like, I read it in Cosmo.
Now, yes. Yes. There's no, I'll tell you what, I'll never, I don't want to say never because I guess anyone could get cheated on, but I maybe I don't have a strong backbone on this take.
Sure.
But I truly do believe that she's not a bad person. I just think she's acting in a bad activity, right?
Sure.
Like I felt for her when we were having the conversation about how she was struggling in this. I don't know. I mean, I'm not married, but it seems that marriage is hard. My buddy Lewis, his wife was mad because he was too drunk. We're on a trip. What are we doing? She was like, I go, well, Lindsay, what's the problem? He goes, he's just drunk. I go, we're in Key West. He's just out of control. I go, you think that's out of control?
Yeah.
Or like Frank and Michelle would get in trouble. They would get, I don't like the way you said that to me. Just bickering about things. Like, dude, relationships are hard. You get in fights with your wife?
Oh, we're going through a fun fight right now.
Okay. Would you be open to having an affair with her?
No. Having an affair on my wife?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kidding, but I'm not going to win this argument. So this clip is not going to end well for me.
No,
but I feel like I made some valid points. Okay, well, so then what do we want to guys do with this woman? You think she should die?
No.
Okay, well, what should her punishment be? Maybe it's hard. You got to understand, people have kids. It's hard.
You know
to just
what her
break
punishment
up.
should be?
Divorce?
Mid-sex for the rest of her life.
Divorce? What? Maybe it's hard with kids. We don't know, but the point is we don't know what's happening in someone's home.
My question is, so she says every time she goes on a women's trip.
She says not all the time, but every time she's
like,
had
how many ladies trips is she going on? Where she's like, counting down the days till I can find some random bar dick.
I think she said, well, she's like, I have a sex addiction. That was her excuse too.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like that's just the lamest.
I think
excuse for cheating. I have a sex addiction.
I mean, I think there's people that definitely. I mean, she definitely had.
I have a sugar addiction. Watch me house these donuts.
It's pretty wild, though. It seemed like she didn't feel guilty at all.
No, it doesn't sound like she was guilty at all. It sounds like you struck out.
Sounds like what?
You struck out.
What do you mean by that?
Did she not want a piece of you?
I just met her at the pool and we were friendly conversation. I would never participate in something like that. I don't condone, getting involved with people who are in a married couple. If someone was going to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. What's another thing? I got to have a better take for that to like close out the ending of that clip, but it's going to get people livid.
Sure.
What's the take? The end take is like, listen, we don't know what she's going through.
Yeah. What if he beats her at home?
Yeah. What if she's in an abusive relationship?
Yeah.
Verbally abusive.
Maybe
what if she's stuck because she has kids?
Maybe she just wants sex where she doesn't get punched in the face.
Maybe. Who are we to judge? We cannot participate in it and not think it's part of our world, and we think it's a valid. But also, isn't it true that monogamy is not natural?
Maybe he's let himself go.
Is monogamy natural?
No.
That's what makes it so special. So he even sighed. The dog was like, I don't even agree with this. So would we publicly bash someone who's having an affair?
We're about to elect one president.
You think both of every president has probably been a scumbag. To be that powerful, they're addicted to power. They're going to do things because they have the urge of, some people don't even have an affair because they're like, here's the final point. I don't think she was having an affair because she's horny. Does that make sense?
I think she was absolutely having an affair because she's horny.
No, I think
that's the sex addiction.
No, I think it's the.
She's going for dopamine.
No, it's all right. How about this? There's people who are well off that shoplift, so they're not shoplifting because they want that thing.
They want the thrill.
So that's what she's doing. The thrill of maybe this is wrong.
Dopamine.
The dopamine addiction that this is a wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
So you guys are on page with she's a bad person. That's my point. My point is it's not right or wrong. It's not right. There's no right or wrong. Obviously, it's wrong because you agreed to be in a committed relationship. So we can agree that it's wrong. We're not arguing that it's not wrong. The argument is somebody a bad person because they're acting in something that is wrong? That's really, I guess, the point I'm trying to make. I'm not saying that what she's doing is okay. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying that just because someone's participating in something that is wrong, does that mean they're a bad person? Now, you could get very detailed with it if it's murder, obviously. If someone's murdering someone, they're a bad person. If someone's sexually assaulting someone, they're a bad person. If someone's physically abusing someone, they're a bad person. But if someone assaults someone, let's say it's a fight between two men, that doesn't mean they're a bad person. They're participating in something that's wrong, but that could have been stemmed through alcohol or an argument over sports or something stupid, but it doesn't mean they're a bad person. I guess the whole premise of this, what we tricked you people to get triggered about is someone a bad person if they participate in something that is bad?
I'm going to go ahead and say she's a bad person. And here's why. It's the deceit and the continued deceit to hide something from her husband.
And family.
And she has chosen to take, I have a husband, I have children, I'm going to gamble what I have for something very, very temporary. She's hiding something.
Wow. Now that is very well put. And that is why you got to listen to this podcast, because we take heavy situations and I bring them,
You bring what?
I bring them up. I bring up these heavy situations. I bring them to light. And I have takes that sometimes I don't even know if they're the right takes. And then Mark comes in with his wisdom because he's boring and he's married. And he explains to us why he is right and I am wrong. So, subscribe and like the podcast. That was a good little thing. All right, how about this? I wrote this. Let's see what this is. There are 400 million Americans, and most of them don't give a fuck about you. I saw a comic post something about what people think of him. Most people got their own shit to worry about. The amount of stand-up comedians that think they're important is insane. You're a clown. Do a joke. Make us laugh. Stand-up comedy is losing humility. What do you think about that?
I think stand-up comedy is losing humility is a wild take.
You think so? I think
they've never had humility.
Oh, so you just don't think comics had humility? I mean, there's a lot of self-deprecating comedians.
Exactly.
But don't you think a lot of comedians, even if they're self-deprecating, don't you think a lot of comedians take themselves too seriously now? Like they're almost like rap. Like rap has no humility. That's what's annoying. Like a rapper will be on an interview and he's still a rapper. He can't even just shut it off for a second.
Yeah.
I got money a bit. It's like, relax. Some of these podcasts have humility with some of these people.
Yeah.
Tom Segura and his wife. It's funny. It's silly. Soder, Mark
Norman. Segura has humility?
I think, I don't know.
I think that was a long time ago.
You think like he's drinking the Kool-Aid now?
Oh, he is all up in his Kool-Aid. I think Bert's getting there, but he always is brought back down to life. And he's like, oh, I think Bert is way more humble than Tom.
I disagree. Really?
I do.
I think that Bert is definitely sillier, but I think that I think Tom is smirks at himself like I think that Bert is way more into the self-promotion than Tom is.
Sure.
Which is like a little bit of where I come of like, where's the humility of like, these guys are taking themselves too, like, I think a lot of these people think they're special.
What comedian do you think takes themselves way too seriously?
Unfortunately, a little bit Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
A lot of like, how about this? Renee's blowing up and I love it. It's a character. It's like stand-up comedy is like WWE now. It's crazy.
Oh, 100%.
It's hilarious. And just watching, like, I like being in the club and just watching Renee, not on stage, just like operate. And I think it's hilarious. He walks in with the bag. He's got the sunglasses. He goes, "What up, bud?"
He's buttoned down to the belly button.
It's hilarious.
It's the swag.
It's hilarious. It's the swag. It's funny. I want him to go, like, I want him to take the sunglasses off sometimes and go, I know. I want to see that. So, and I don't think he does that. So I want to see him. No,
he does. He does.
Like,
he does. So, but
I'm not around him enough.
Been a while.
Yes. So I think
I used to always have to take him and be like, hey man, bring it down a notch, or like, you realize what you're doing at this moment.
Yeah. I think I want to see that.
And
I'm not around him enough.
One day I'll have to show you, there was an episode where another comedian came in and just flat out destroyed him for 30 minutes straight. And he just sat
there. As a joke.
Yeah, as a joke. But then it got
Who was the comic?
Malik B.
Oh, was going in on Renee?
Just roasted him.
Are they friends still?
I would assume so.
Yeah, there's got to be a little humility though with everything. You got to like know, like, all right, at the end of the day, we're just we're nobodies.
Yeah.
But some of these guys walk around like they're like the king of the world.
Yeah, some people have drunk the Kool-Aid too much.
Some of these guys think the world needs them. It's like, hey man, if you die tomorrow, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. The world's not going to stop. The closest the world stopping was Kobe and Robin Williams and Michael Jackson. And not even then did the world stop. For Michael Jackson, a little bit. The world stopped a little bit. You could walk into any place in public and you felt the energy from everyone goes, oh my God, he died.
What was the one that hurt you, affected you the most?
Kobe was really weird.
Kobe was weird because it like destroyed the world, and as we know,
it was just right before the pandemic, and we didn't even know. But then just the daughter and everything, it was just very sad. It was very sad.
If Kobe's daughter, and if he was the only one on the elevator on the helicopter, do you think we would care as much?
Yeah, it would still be shocking. Yes,
because it would be shocking
because it would be like,
but it was like more innocent life.
Well, it's because 7 other people lost their lives.
That's what I'm saying. If it was just Kobe in the helicopter,
yeah, of course.
Say the pilot was like, "Oh, pulled the chute, and he was survived." It was just Kobe.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. I hear you. It would still, because it's a tragic. Just like when the Fast and Furious guy died, he wasn't as big as Kobe, but it's still tragic. Or the old school.
Yeah, but he was racing his car.
Doesn't matter. It's still tragic.
That was like self-inflicted.
Doesn't matter. Tragic deaths are always sad. Tragic deaths of someone who's a star.
So the Kobe one affected you.
Yeah, it was definitely like very shocking and sad. Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it affected me because it was like he was young. Like Michael Jackson was already weird and
Kobe was already retired.
Bro, he was 42.
He was 42, but like in terms of like his professional life, it is already done.
Oscar. He was very in the spotlight. Michael Jackson was lost at that point. He had gone through like publicly.
He was already rotting.
He was rotting, publicly shamed for like accusations, but it was still, his music was so empowering that it affected the world. The world was affected, but you really saw how big Kobe affected people too. Like he was an inspiration to like the world. And also Kobe was the first one to die tragic in the social media era. Robin Williams died, but it affected a lot of people, but it was like on Twitter. It wasn't as big as how, people weren't painting moral murals all over the world.
Robin Williams is Robin
Williams, but it was definitely shocking for everyone.
Is the one that's shocking that I still don't believe, where I'm like if you were to be like, hey, he's still alive, I'd be like, oh yeah,
but
I can see that.
Also his was less because he was like 60.
Yeah.
So it's like he's not that young. Michael Jackson was just like, oh, he was already messed up with drugs and shit. But it was very sad, and people loved. I've never seen someone's death affect the world that much, except when Princess Diana died. But I was too young. But that kind of like was
yeah.
pretty,
We were in like 7th grade.
that was pretty big.
I
and heavy
remember
for
that.
the world. Like I remember my mom being like emotional about it because
Yeah.
she was British, so she was like really like upset about it. She's like, "Oh, this is horrible,"
Yeah.
and then blaming like because they were running from the paparazzi.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I think that there's something about stand-up comedy that is losing humility a little bit. Like sometimes some of these guys take themselves too seriously and think they're the shit.
I think the one thing that's really changed in stand-up is there's a lot of comedians that are way bigger than they should be.
Well,
like there's some
who are we to say that they should be big?
Well, there's some seriously unfunny comics who are on a much higher platform than they deserve to be. Where they're like, "Oh, I've got a comedy special." I'm like, "You've been doing this for maybe 8 months tops."
Well, I think that we're in a world where you don't need people to decide for us who gets to be famous. The internet does.
Yeah.
So if the internet chooses them, then who are we to say they don't deserve it?
Yeah.
Whatever they've put out there in the world has worked for them to
be
that big. It doesn't mean that how about this? It doesn't mean that they're as talented as the best working stand-up comedians, but they have figured out a formula to make an income doing something, and the internet chose that. No casting directors, nobody chose that besides the fan base. So it is validated and it is real because they're doing something that people like, but it doesn't mean they are as talented as the people who are the best in that world that they are in. But also, if they are big in that, it doesn't mean they are big because of the stand-up comedy. It could be because of the way they create their videos. It's editing, it's social media. They are a good social media presence is what it is. It doesn't mean you are Bill Burr or Louis C.K. at stand-up.
Do you think we're going to start? Do you think the comedy stand-up space is flooded with mediocre comedy right now because of people who have platforms of like, "Oh, I have 400,000 followers." They get up on stage and you go, "You're still kind of an open micer."
Well, then how do they have those 400,000 followers?
Because they're
the stand-up?
Because they do great example, Logan fucking Paul. What did he do? He used to run around and just do the splits everywhere on Vine.
Yeah.
That's all he did.
But
that's it.
He's really good at what he does.
Is that talent?
That doesn't matter. But that's not what that was what got him in.
Yes.
And he became a genius.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like he became a great podcaster. He also became a great boxer. He is now a great wrestler. He is a great businessman. He's become great at everything.
But he's become great. Yes. So, I'm not going to fight you on that. But I think about how many people who have incredible fan bases because of one small niche, but then they try and translate that into
that's fine
comedy,
that's different, but that's
and
different.
You're getting terrible comedy. And there's nights at comedy clubs that you are getting
different. I'll explain to you.
Sure.
If somebody is on stage and they're selling tickets because people want to see them on stage, then that means that they got that fan base from posting videos of them on stage, meaning they are good at something they're doing on stage. Now, if you're talking about someone who got famous from doing videos of man on the street, and now they're going on stage, they're not selling tickets. And yes, maybe they're sometimes going on shows and it's not good, but that is not what they're doing. And that's not what they're getting good at. And they're going to get good at it later, but they're getting on those shows and people aren't coming out and they'll fade out because people realize that they're not selling tickets. But if you're selling tickets because you got popular off of the videos you did of you on stage, then you have some sort of skill to, entertain a crowd. I don't know if you could do it for an hour, but enough to get on stage at a big club. And are you as good as what you are doing on the road? Maybe not, but you figured out something, but it doesn't mean you're as talented as Bill Burr or Louis C.K. But the mediocre comedy has always been around. Now it's showcased.
And it has a wider reach and a wider platform.
A wider reach.
Do you think that the stuff that's happening, let's call it the big three, like the Improv, the Store, and do you think the comedy is at a higher level now as opposed to 20 years ago?
Yeah.
You think it's higher now? You think the comedy is
I think it's
across
harder.
the board?
There's so many
better now.
Well, yeah, because the comics 20 years ago who were good are still around, and the great comics are still around. There's just opportunities for people who aren't less as talented to get opportunities, but great comedy is still around.
So do you
There's
think
more great comics?
Do you think if I had like 1 million followers and I'm like, hey, I'm going to do stand-up comedy and I could put butts in seats, it's inevitable that I'm going to get good at stand-up?
No, but if you had 1 million followers and you're going to start stand-up, you're not getting butts in seats for stand-up. That's just not how it works.
Yeah,
I've
you
seen it
get-
work like that.
okay.
I know it doesn't. We've had people with big followings come because that's not what they're known for. So their fan base isn't going, hey, let's go see them do stand-up. A little bit like in small rooms, but the only way you could get good at it because you have a fan base, but the grit is
I was going to
the
say,
hardest.
we know some people who were like enormous on Instagram and then really good, sorry, who were enormous on Instagram came in and shocked me at how good they were at actual stand-up. And they've thrived.
They've probably been working behind the scenes.
Exactly.
I mean, Trevor had a big following base and he's worked so hard at stand-up. He's a good comic. So he worked hard at it. So, I mean, but like there's other people who have millions of followers and they don't do stand-up that much and they're okay at it, but they're also not selling as much as someone who has 400,000 followers.
Yeah.
Because their fan base is just from sketch videos or something like that. I think that if people are paying to see you, you're doing something right. Does it mean you're as good as Louis C.K.? Of course not.
Yeah.
But you have an ability to get to that world.
What else you got?
We what are we at?
Sorry, he was snoring.
What?
He's a dreamies.
How long have we been going?
Oh, like an hour.
I got one more. I just want to test this out. Is like this is actually just to see if this is working because I think that there's something happening with stand-up clips now that people, it's so oversaturated. They see it and they'll scroll. They're like, oh, I'm over stand-up. But we can do stand-up bits in podcast form and they'll go viral. Like I could do it with my in-debt bit of like, okay, watch, let's just see. And it's more like, this is something me and Fahim were talking about. Like, oh, I think we could turn some of our bits like they do in late night TV. If you ever used to watch late night TV with comics and they would sit on the couch,
yeah,
they were doing stand-up jokes on the couch.
Yeah.
It'd be like, all right, you want to ask me, what's one of the toughest breakups you've ever went through?
Mike, okay, tell me about what is easily the hardest breakup you've ever gone through.
My hardest breakup, it was really tough because I was in love with this girl, but she was like, I'm just not in love with you anymore. And I was like, you don't love me? She's like, no, I love you, but I'm not like in love with you. And I go, like, what do you even mean by that? And she's like I love you as a person, but I don't see a future with you. So I'm not in love with you. Like I used to see a future with you and that was me being in love with you, but I don't feel that way anymore. But I'll always love you as a person because of like our life experiences. I'm like, I don't even get the difference of that. That's like me saying I'm not in debt, but I have debt. Like I can't go to a bank and go like, hey guys, I got a lot of debt with you, but I'm not in debt with you. They'd be like, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, yeah, there's a difference though. You're not understanding. Like, oh, I used to make payments on time and that was me being in debt with you. But now I don't feel that way anymore. And I want to move on from this relationship. So I'm going to stop making payments because I can't afford to, but I'll always, have debt with you, obviously, because we have a history and I can't get rid of it.
It sounds like you haven't gotten over her.
A little bit.
This hurt, didn't it?
Yeah, really bad. It's been 20 years.
Ouch.
So, I mean, like that's just an example of like in a podcast clip that could go viral.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're just doing your stand-up bit and it's more like, all right, let's just see what happens. So it's like, oh, if that works and I clip that, then like, do I just
We just do softballs all day.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, here, let's just do another one of my bits. And then because now it's in a podcast form and people are going to stop and listen to it and they're like, oh, that's a good take.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's my stand-up. So,
right.
I'll save it for next time. It was the diner scene from 2014 to 2018 in LA. That will be next week.
Okay.
It was one of the most powerful things in comedy that I don't think is around anymore.
The diner scene?
Yeah. And then I have another thing that I'll save for next episode too.
Okay.
But overall, I mean, that was really just kind of like something we had to get off of our chest. And, we're 40 years old now. Is he hot? Is that what it is? His
no,
tongue
he's
is
fine.
out?
He's fine.
Man, that just reminded me, this is really sad, but like, I don't know if you remember this, like, I saw a dead husky when I was in Westwood Village one time, and I didn't see it get hit by the car, but I saw the aftermath of the people holding it in their hands. And I walked up. I
remember
over.
You told me this.
Yeah, it really messed me up.
You did this on pod.
I messed me up, dude.
Yeah, hard pass, bud.
What?
Said hard pass on that story, bud.
Yeah, That's what
Big
your husky
sigh.
reminds me of. Don't ever, not have a leash on him.
Oh, he's always got a leash.
And don't ever let your wife not have a leash on you, or you could end up in Key West with this lady.
Well, she ain't going on any ladies' trips.
All right, well, guys, that was this week's episode. We will try to get them to you every week, but it doesn't matter. It's however I feel, because I don't let you guys control me. I control you. So like, share, and comment, and tell Mark you like to hear his voice. And if you have if you want any advice for relationships, I know what I'm talking about. So,
Yeah, whatever happened when people used to ask us relationship problems? That was fun.
Well, you can. You guys could DM or, and then I'll talk about it on here. I think I'm gonna do it on stage at the end of shows. I'm just gonna, for clips, I'm gonna just be like, all right, who's got some relationship
Michael
problems?
Lenoci, love doctor.
The love doctor.
Or Michael Lenoci, Hall of Fame dater. You should actually start being like, hey, who here is in the process of talking with a girl right now? Like, early.
I am.
And then give me your phone. And let's go through this together and see if you can just
maybe
text
I'll
for
even
them.
do that. Yeah. I 100%.
I remember there was a time where you took someone's phone for them during a podcast. It was like one of the first episodes.
Really?
I can't remember. It might have been Amir's phone or someone else's. And they were like, I don't know what to say to this girl. And you were like, give me the phone.
Let me, dude, I want to do it from stage. I'll put the mic in and who's talking to someone right now? Like, they got a rapport and they're having a hard time closing.
Who needs a professional wingman?
Let me do it for you.
Yeah.
Let me do it for you. This could be good.
Yeah. Have your friend pull this out, film it so they show it. And this is me. Boom, 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 boom.
I got to do the road ASAP so I can get some of these clips.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one. That'll be a good one.